All right, this video is called The Truth About Kick Being Sustainable. And this is in response to or around the discussion surrounding Kick.com. If you don't know what Kick.com is, it's a competitor to Twitch, owned by Stake, the gambling site. And they create their own streaming service in response to, in my opinion, in response to Twitch's decision to kind of ban them from the site. I think there was a little bit of bad blood between Twitch and Kick, or Twitch and Stake after that. And they started their own site, and it's been generating a lot of talk within the streamer community because they offer a 95-5 split on subscriptions, whereas Twitch, has a 50-50. And Twitch recently moved a whole bunch of bigger content creators who had 70-30 before, 70%, 30% split. They moved them over to 50-50. So this is a response to Kick being sustainable because a former Amazon engineer or Twitch engineer came out and said that Twitch is using, or Kick is using IVS, which is Amazon's packaged Twitch product. That's the reason why they bought Twitch, is so they can get the Twitch tech, package it, and sell it as a streaming package. So they said that this guy claimed that Kick was basically lining Twitch's pockets by using their service, and they were being subsidized heavily for using it. So this is I think this guy's name is Big E, and he's on Kick right now. And he's talking to the owner of Stake and Kick about the topic. So let's listen to him.
I'll tell you honestly right now, so Kick has only been around for 3 to 4 months, right? We saw profit in Q1. We saw profit in Q1 just through one strategic partnership, right? That's all, right? That's all it takes. It's not a difficult business model to sustain if you're doing it correctly, right? And I think there is ways to go about this.
That statement, by the way, if you didn't catch it, he led the video. He was smart for doing this. He led the video with a big bombshell that nobody knew before that Kick said they were profitable in Q1. It's been egg in the face for Twitch for so long that they haven't been profitable. They've been bleeding money and all this stuff. He said that they were profitable in Q1, but the key word he said was that through a strategic partnership. And I think that's going to be the theme of this video, is that I think we're going to see a difference in the business model of Kick versus Twitch. Twitch is about advertising. I think their big money is advertising. And I don't think Kick is going that route. So let's listen in.
Especially the price point is much lower. We're talking like cost plus single digit percentage, right? So the whole 8 to 9 times the cost is completely wrong. Like we're talking like a markup of single percentage digits.
Oh, wow.
And
so that's a rebuttal right there to the claims that there's a substantial markup. He said there's cost plus single digit percentage. That's a markup, but it's not like 8 times markup like people were claiming.
And then if, for example, IVS was to say...
Let me just preface it with this. We're assuming he's telling the truth.
But
well, that's what originally happened, to be honest with you. I'll let you know. So when we first launched Kick, they're like, hold on, we can't give you this IVS service. And we're like, okay, cool, we'll go elsewhere. And then we moved over, and then they're like, oh, come back. It was like, never mind, we want you now. We're like, all right, fair enough, we'll stick around. But we've already got...
So he said when they first launched Kick, they tried to get IVS, and Amazon said no. And then they said, okay, we'll get somebody else. And they said, no, come back. I feel like there's something missing. There's something in that scenario that not being said. That just seems very odd to just say, no, come back. We were just kidding.
Alternative setup. So it's...
I mean, I know there's a lot that goes on in the negotiation process, but I feel like he's leaving something out. That's a very suspect, or as the kids say these days, that's kind of sus.
It is not 8 to 10 times the percentage that they were saying that, which I thought the article was funny anyways. Like, we've known about this for months, and I just don't...
See, it's like, you gotta be careful with that, because I've learned in my years on the planet that people can spin statistics to say whatever they want. If you say the statistic a certain way is true, which is very deceptive, they can say 8 to 9 times more, but 8 to 9 times more than what and based on what? So is it like 8 to 9 times the additional percentage that's added, which could be, if it's 0.05%, do you multiply it times 8? Ooh, big deal. So it's like, what statistic are they comparing to and from? And, there's a lot of question around that. And when he says that is cost plus single digit percentage. That's kind of like a hanging statement. It could be single digit percentage of, the yearly costs, or if we go 5 years, it's 15%. If we, not 15. If we go 5 years, it's 5%. If we go with a 10-year deal, it's 2% on top. But if we go 1 year, it's 25%. So one of those scenarios is true, but which one are they doing? So it's like you can take the numbers and you can spend them however you want. And when you're in marketing, and you can tell this guy has a marketing background, you're going to lean towards spending the numbers in your favor.
On one thing first,
yes.
I think streaming is what we really passionate about. We understand it quite well, and we think we can actually go toe to toe on the streaming front. But obviously being able to expand out into other aspects of social media would be massive, right? And I think that's what you need to do to compete nowadays. I think Twitch has been lacking that. They haven't really gone ahead and tried pushing the envelope on what you can actually achieve as a social media platform. They're a social media platform. They could do anything they want. They could add so many different other ways for their massive network to socialize, right? And I think they've missed that opportunity for whatever.
They tried with JTV to become a social media platform, and I think they determined at the time that it was a failure. And it took away all the social media stuff. You guys remember they had comments on videos, they had messaging, they had friends lists. It was basically a full blown social media site, and one by one these features got removed and slowly added back and then removed again. So they're kind of going through an identity crisis with that. I think there's some people at Twitch that don't want to commit to that, but I think a lot of people who were hesitant, a lot of people that were resistant to that are now gone. Frankly, I think people who were resistant to turning Twitch/Justin TV into a social media platform, I think they're all gone now. I think they moved on. So I think the new management at Twitch might be more open to turning Twitch into a social media platform instead of just a streaming site. We'll see.
Reason a kick for the time being. I think we'll take things slowly, but as we continue to grow, I think it'd be silly to not utilize the ability to at least attempt to try to add features which will help creators to grow, right? There's so many things that you can at least try. The immediate future is really just 100% focused on the live streaming side, but we just don't want to spread ourselves too thin, right? If you start focusing on 1,000,001 things, you can quickly lose sight of what's important, right?
Exactly. Well, I mean, I think in itself, that's like one of the issues that Twitch has. Dan Clancy said multiple times, we're a niche, we're a community, we stay here. And it's like, but why? The biggest growth organically, besides the luck of the pandemic for them, came from the huge collaboration from Ninja and Drake. That was one of the largest exacerbations of Twitch's history, naturally. Just the outside world wanting to tune in and figure out what is going on with this.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question.
He makes a good point, because after that, I remember seeing responses on social media that people had never even heard of Twitch until that, right? I mean, they listen to music, they listen to Drake or whatever, and then they're like, oh, Drake is on this site called Twitch. It's like, what's that? Does it have a mobile app? And then, all the stats just skyrocketed, And that's when Ninja got his hugest break, because not only was Twitch propelled in name, but Ninja was as well. So he makes a great point. I mean, that kind of stuff, that natural stuff like that, is really what helps the site.
Yeah, the MCA copyright is no joke, right? That's you have to abide by it.
It's like everybody, even Twitch. I was there in the early days of that system, and it was chaotic. It was a mess. It was a hot mess. It's like, we got to throw something together so that people could do takedowns. It was so bad. Oh, I mean, I imagine it's better now, but holy moly, was it awful. Oh my goodness. It was a miserable time. It was a very miserable time.
That's been my only, if there's anything that really could be an issue with any platform, like Kick, Twitch, it's copyright. Because those are big number lawsuits.
Yeah, no, where copyright sort of starts and ends is difficult, right? Like the nature of live streaming is reusing content, right? Like you have to use other people's content to make content, and that's it.
No, we don't. What are you talking about? We don't use what? No, we don't.
I think that's something that makes a lot of things so powerful with you guys. We just seen it in that also interview with Elon. We've seen it a lot since he's moved to Twitter. I don't even think it's a political idea, like, putting anybody on a split or anything, but like how fast the last few years, like especially Twitch, was just to like, oh, well, this could be a potential problem. Just get rid of it. Just ban them. Get them out of here. Just don't even make it a problem to begin with. I just wanted to speak out on while we were on that kind of part of the conversation. Like, I really appreciate I know it kind of gets into treacherous waters because giving people more freedom allows them to push the envelope a little bit more. But at the end of the day, it's like the envelope is one person's offense or what they don't want to hear or whatever the issue may be. It might not actually be the boundaries. It's just maybe what somebody else doesn't want to hear. You know what I mean?
Ooh, you said a mouthful right there, buddy. I agree. It's what's not acceptable is usually somebody's feelings being hurt.
The moderation side of stuff is always tricky. And I think when people just want to push the boundaries, like you set a rule in place and then you can go 1 centimeter away from that rule. You can be so close to breaking it, and you can always just find ways to be just, as close to breaking as possible. I think that's where it gets, super tricky. I think, a really good example is like, we made the changes to the pools and hot tubs and bikinis channel.
Oh, right, yeah.
Or whatever. And, people are already figuring out, okay, I can't do this, but okay, I can do this, right?
Yeah.
It's like this never.
And as a former admin, that drove me nuts. Because here's the catch-22 paradoxical, whatever you want to say about this. It's like when you give people a line and you have a firm definition of what the line is. They know exactly what to do to get right up to it. But not cross it. No, they get right up to it. Which is why I'm a big fan of very, very vague terms of services. Where it's just like, don't be an idiot. What do you mean, don't be an idiot? If the terms of service on my stream and my channel is don't be an idiot. Period. That's it. Well, how do you know if you're being an idiot or not? Oh, you'll know. You'll know. Because, here's the thing about my channels. Like, I give rules and I give, like, guidelines and stuff. And then I warn you about it. I'm like, all right, we don't want to do that here. We don't do that here. And you're like, all right, cool. After I say we don't do that here, you still do it or you go right to the line of it. Guess what? Come closer. You're being an idiot. It's true. That's it. You're being an idiot. I'm not saying you are an idiot, but you're in the act of being an idiot. And there's a difference. And we don't want you to be an idiot here. We want you to be smart. We want you to be good. We want you to be awesome. So when you give people a line, man, they're gonna push it. Because that's how people entertain themselves. That's some people's personality. That's some people's goal in life is to challenge every authority for some reason. I don't know. I don't know if they got parental issues. I don't know if they've got I don't know what's going on. They just want to challenge all authority and they want to push it. We saw that with Kick when Kick came out. We saw that. Like everything that was banned on Twitch, people were doing on Kick. That's the first thing they did. It was just like, we're free to do stupid stuff. And then it died down. It slowly died down. Now it's coming down to normalcy. Now, Kick has gotten a little bit of a handle on it. Now you don't see really shocking stuff every day like you saw in the first couple of days. It's going to keep happening. No doubt about it. It's going to keep happening. But Kick is they've got to be firm in some areas, but in other areas they got to leave it up to community to police themselves. Right? That was one thing that Justin TV / Twitch really was, they were adamant about. It's like, we want the community to police itself in a lot of ways. We don't want to dictate everything. And I can agree and disagree with that in certain situations, but that led to what Twitch is what it is today, which is what it is today. You're going to see some outliers. You're going to see some people breaking the rules. You're going to see some people pushing the envelope. And then you're going to see people who are going to be trying to ban every little thing that happens. If you have an L emote, like I once had, if you have an L emote, I'm not even going to do the L on my forehead like the emote because I might get in trouble for that. Now, if you have an L emote, it's classified as bullying on a gaming website. Yeah. So you've got these extreme ends of the spectrums. You've got the people that are really, really easily offended by the smallest things. And then you got the people who are willing to push to the utmost limits of stupidity, right? On both ends of the spectrum. And what Twitch wants and what Kick wants is that they want it to be like more in the middle. You know, you want to have some people that are somewhat sensitive and you want to have some people that are somewhat edgy, but you don't want to go too far. And then if you keep it there, then the community can police itself to narrow that even further, right? So you're going to see outliers of channels that are built to do those those outlier things. But everybody else may keep it in the balance that it needs to be. It's a very interesting topic. It is. It's an interesting thing. And it's going to be educational to see what Kick does compared to what Twitch did.
What, like the idea of, multi-streaming and him saying that, as all creators in our community, multi-streaming is not the best way to grow your brand. And it's like, how do you know that? You've never done any of this. Do you guys have plans to just keep allowing that freedom across the
multi-stream? Did he actually say that? If he said that, and that's something that Twitch has been saying for a long time, is that multi-streaming will not grow your brand.
Board to, like multi-streaming that's grow on other platforms.
Yeah, well, multi-streaming I think is fun, right? I think naturally people will, if people multi-stream, they'll naturally focus on the platform that they're seeing the best results from. So I think that the way you combat multi-streaming is you offer the best platform, because you can only really focus
offer the best
your
what?
Energy.
Did that skip out?
About multi-streaming is you offer the best platform, because you can only really focus sort of your energy on one. And as long as you are the focus point, then at that point the platform's winning, right? And we have people multi-streaming. I think there's a lot of people that multi-stream on Kick, and it actually works out quite well for us. There's a few creators that come to mind, and what they end up doing is they end up bringing their audience to the other platforms straight to us, because they're reading their channel Kick, they're wanting their subscriptions on Kick, they're wanting to grow their Kick. So therefore, the attraction becomes essentially the better platform. So I think as long as you have the better platform, the better service, the better product, then multi-streaming is not an issue. I think multi-streaming is only a threat if you're worried that the place people are multi-streaming to, is better than you, right? So I think that's why they're a little bit more concerned about multi-streaming.
Up until this spiel, I didn't really think much of this guy, but I think he just moved up a notch on my meter. He gets it. That's it right there. That's it right there. I've been saying this for years too. It's like, when they introduce a partner program and they put an exclusivity clause in, I'm saying this reeks of insecurity. It's like, why are you trapping us here unless you're concerned that the competition might be better? The platform and the community if the platform and the community are so good that you claim it is, you shouldn't have to worry about exclusivity. You shouldn't have to worry about somebody going somewhere else. It should speak for itself. So if you multi-stream, the better platform is going to stand out. Like people will say, I go to Twitch for the chat. I go to YouTube for the video player. I go to this for that. So it's like, if you multi-stream, you're going to have eyeballs everywhere, but eventually they're going to gravitate somewhere. And if you're smart, you'll have somewhere like Discord. Say, hey, come on by the Discord and join our community there. You can still watch on Facebook. You can still watch on YouTube. You can still watch on whatever else thing I'm streaming on. But once you come by, that's how you grow community. See, the fact that Clancy says multi-streaming is not a good way to grow community, they are taking community and live streaming and they're making them one-to-one. And to me, that's a mistake. Community and live streaming are not one-to-one. Twitch wants them to be because that's all Twitch does is live streaming. But there's so much more to community than live streaming. I'm a testament to that. I say 75% of my community doesn't even watch my live stream. They don't come by. They'll occasionally catch a clip. They'll occasionally maybe see something. They'll maybe come by on the weekend and say, hi, how you doing? They don't watch my live stream, but they follow me on my other platforms. They follow me on YouTube. They follow me on TikTok. They follow me mainly on Discord and on Patreon. But live streaming is just a part of that. They may have found me via live stream, but that's not why they're staying. That's why I think it's a mistake to say multi-streaming is not a good way to grow your community, because I think it is a good way to grow your community. There are other problems though with multi-streaming that I'm not going to talk about here, but there are problems with it. It's not perfect. It has its issues, and I've talked about them here and my frustrations with them. But to say it doesn't grow your community is just wrong. It can fragment your community from a live streaming standpoint. I think that's what Dan Clancy is talking about, is fragmentation. But that's only if you depend on live streaming only for your community. And I think that's a narrow view, especially in 2023. If you're a content creator, you got to think outside of live streaming. You have to. You're not going to survive otherwise.
Watch me on Twitch right now if it's just such a dull experience. You know what I mean? If you're getting ads left and right and...
Oh, man, I go to Twitch now and you just get those like 4 or 5 ads in a row and I just can't handle.
Oh, let me tell you about this, man. I have the data to prove it now. Advertising is hurting viewership really bad. Like, oh my gosh. It is awful, man. And we warned Twitch this would happen. If they do the ads in the program, more and more streamers are going to take it, yada, yada, yada. But viewership has declined across the board. I can go by my data because that's what I have. And it's I don't have a solution for it. So it's hard for me to talk about it. It's like, I rarely criticize, things about corporations and companies that I don't have a solution for, even a thought. But it's like, what can Twitch do? There are whole business models around advertising. Not whole. A majority of their business models around advertising. They're losing money, so they got to advertise more. Whew, man. It's bad. Like if you compare like today, the amount of people that will leave a site, like an ad starts, like one's about to start right now, kind of ironic. An ad starts. People leave, never to return. Back in the day, people the ad will play. They're like, all right, I'll wait. I want to see what he has to say. People leave. They just up and leave. So it's bad, man. It's awful. And I don't know what Twitch is going to do about it. It's only going to get worse. Dare I say, it's only going to get worse. So the whole subscription drama and all that stuff with cuts, with ad revenue and stuff. I mean, not with ad revenue, with the Twitch share being 50-50 and all that. To me, that's a lesser issue than the advertisement problem. I'm telling you, man, as a consumer of this, as a user of this, when I go to a stream and if I see ads, I can only use YouTube as an example because I have Twitch Turbo. If I go to a YouTube live stream or if I go to a YouTube video and then ads just play over and over again, and I do experience that on my phone because I don't have any way to deal with that. I don't want to watch the video anymore unless I really, really enjoy the content creator. Now, if I'm trying to discover somebody new, I'm leaving for real. It's like if you want discoverability, an advertisement is going to push you away from that streamer. It's literally going to thrust you away. All hope of you enjoying and finding a new content creator or getting that connection it's gone. And you did it. You lost a potential loyal viewer for 0.005 cents. So it is awful, man. I can feel it. It's awful.
Handle it. Now that I'm used to watching streams with no ads, it's just literally impossible to go back to that. It's like, I know it's not the end of the world.
Yeah,
like
I know.
30-second ad here and there isn't like the worst thing. It's like whatever, but it's so frustrating, especially when you experience it. And I think that's a great example of hey, if someone's multi-streaming to multiple platforms, then people are going to end up watching it on the one with the least ads. And I think that's why Twitch is working.
Bingo. If you multi-stream to multiple platforms, the smart person who really wants to watch you, what they're going to do is they're going to go to the platform that doesn't have the ads, and they're going to pop out Twitch chat.
Because they know they're shoving like 5, 6, 7, 8 ads an hour down people's throats, and then when people multi-stream, they're going to go to the one with less, right? So
right.
Again, it comes down to kind of like what people
true.
are giving, what they're taking, what the product comes down to, and the risk that's inherently there for as a result of that multi-streaming. But you're right. I think, having the multi-stream is super important. It's so difficult to make it as a creator nowadays. Like so many people are doing it. It's so saturated. There's like, all the big guys get, most of the attention. So, fighting for that small market share is super, super hard. And if you're not taking advantage of every single social media avenue that you have available to you, you're closing doors to audience, right? So it makes absolutely zero sense not to leverage that.
Exactly.
I think if you're being forced not to leverage that,
I'm telling you though, man, like I put in a ton of work with my short stuff on Bwana clips, and all it took was like 2 people to make me feel like it was worth it. A guy came by, he was like, "Hey man, like I'm streaming. I don't know what I was streaming. I was streaming something different." He was like, "I came by, I saw your short on Deep Rock Galactic. I just want to come by and say hi." All it takes is like 2 of those people, two people to say that, to motivate me to go double on what I did before, right? Because I'll tell you, man, that conversion it feels so good as a content creator. When you're spreading yourself out to all the multiple social networks, and then people actually make the effort to find where you are, check out your links, and they say, "Oh, he's live. Let me go say hi." Just that effort, that effort is so hard to pull off in 2023. If you can get somebody to do that in 2023, that is an accomplishment. That's a huge, huge accomplishment. It's a tough ask these days to ask people to just like a video, let alone make the effort to find out where you live stream based on your profile, then go there and then say hi and chat. Man, like that motivated me to make twice as many shorts as I already made.
Is anyone actually enforcing like the no multi-streaming kind of contracts nowadays?
There's never been we actually have a former Twitch staff in here that was actually a part of the banning in terms of service team. And they said they were literally not even trained by Twitch to actually execute on banning for multi-streaming. I've had a friend that got caught for...
What is this training?
He was a Twitch partner.
Training?
He's pretty big on Twitch. He's got like 1 million or so subs on YouTube. He's a pretty big guy. He got the bag to go stream on Facebook for a year. I mean, anybody would be stupid not to take it, even if you're a Twitch partner. He didn't multi-stream you, but he got caught, and the Twitch management at the time, who no longer is with him because he's been exposed for doing shit like this, he essentially was like, "Hey, I gotta, just to not play favorites, I gotta just remove your Twitch partner for some time. Just give me like X amount of months, come back, I'll give you your partner back, I'll give you 70-30 back, and we'll move on." But yeah, you got caught. I gotta take care, but yeah, never got banned, nothing. I personally have never heard of anybody that's been actually banned from Twitch for multi-streaming.
Yeah, no.
Well, you don't get banned for multi. Let's just be clear on this. There's nothing anywhere that says you get banned for multi-streaming. If you violate your affiliate or partner agreement, you lose affiliate or partner. An example he just gave, that's what happened. So that's what is supposed to happen, is if you violate your partner or affiliate agreement, you're supposed to forfeit that agreement for an undisclosed amount of time. So nobody really gets banned for that. Or at least they're not supposed to. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm misinterpreting the TOS, not TOS. Maybe I'm misinterpreting the current affiliate and current partner contracts, because mine is ancient. But I assume that was the case. It's like if they find you in violation of the partner or affiliate contract, they just null and void it, and you lose your partnership or you lose affiliate. He's right though about it's rare to find people getting punished for that. To the point, I think for the last couple of years, it's been a meme. It's like people just say, "Oh, you're not. You can multi-stream all you want." If it were me and it were my contract, I wouldn't multi-stream. But it's not in my contract. So I multi-stream whenever I want to. My contract is very, very ancient and old and has not been renewed. So it's still valid. And it basically dictates that I can't make money from advertisements while multi-streaming. But that was recently changed by Twitch to say you can't. So I'm free to do whatever.
Do you have any plans of ads for the future of Kick?
One thing we are working on is... We want to allow people to serve ads themselves, right? I think that'll be really, really important to begin with, right? So, for example,
serve ads themselves.
Well, you as a creator, you get a deal with, say, I don't know who you get a deal with, G Fuel, right? You get a deal with G Fuel.
Oh, he's talking about ad reads.
Will send you the ad they want you to play, and you play that ad, when you want to, and you have your deal directly with them. Essentially, you can run
like what I'm doing with World of Warships. That's what he's talking about.
Ads yourself. You can see how many impressions you've got, how many unique, views and whatnot, and then you can broker those deals yourself. We don't want to get involved in the advertisement side of things straight away. It's not on the roadmap right now. I think advertising is such an old school way of looking at revenue from especially live streaming. It just isn't as impactful as what you can do with live streaming if you sit here and
okay, so this is a very interesting segue, because he's doubling down on why Kick versus Twitch comparisons on like sustainability are starting to wane, like that whole discussion, because Twitch's sustainability is around advertising. And what he's saying right now is that they don't want to do that. So that's interesting.
And genuinely endorse a product. Like if you are live streaming to your audience and genuinely endorse a product for 2 minutes, right? That there will be 100 times more powerful than if you played 3 minutes of ads over and over again for 6 hours.
And there's hard data to prove that. This is why you see a lot of huge content creators getting approached to do this. This stream is sponsored by Manscaped. No, this stream is sponsored by whatever. I'm trying to think of Raid Shadow Legends. You know, those are more effective than the pre-rolls, than the mid-rolls, and those advertisements like that. The ad reads, ever since I can remember, like I'm talking early podcast days when I was doing GoToMeeting and Squarespace and Audible, back in the early podcasting days, they paid you much, much more, so much more than like AdSense. And that was when AdSense was good. That was when AdSense actually paid you a good amount of money. Those were the good old days. They're gone now. But they paid you a lot more to do an ad read, which Twitch has announced they're going to be adding. So that's kind of smart. So what Kick is saying is that they want to rely on you to manage your advertisement, which is what a lot of people do really, when it comes to, deals and ad deals. Like I work through certain agencies. They contact companies. I'm on a stream team that works with companies to possibly get deals. I don't have an agency myself. Like I'm not with Loaded, like some of the big streamers are, Loaded.gg and other big agencies that go out and find these six-figure deals that these guys are getting. I'm not in that realm, but I think that's more lucrative for the streamer than ads are, and their ads. So that's kind of weird to say that. These ads are better than these ads. So auto-playing ads, mid-rolls, pre-rolls are garbage in terms of like conversion, in terms of like, I still don't know how they can sell them because they don't do anything. And this guy knows, I think he knows that, because if you look at what Stake did with Twitch streamers, they did exactly that. They pumped millions of dollars into people like Trainwrecks and XQC and a bunch of other people who were sponsored by Stake. I don't know the whole list. And I'm pretty sure they got a huge return on that investment. So he knows. Yep.
Like just sitting there and giving a genuine endorsement is just so much more powerful. Like I think the whole concept of running these ads in between is just, it's just not worth it. There's such a more powerful way of generating revenue. And that is something that we've understood. So obviously it's no secret that we worked really close with Twitch for like 3 years, right, with the Stake brand. Like maybe too close to the extent that they kind of taught us to go away. And we kind of
was going to say something else. Oh no!
Live streaming, like live streaming as a marketing tool, is really powerful. Like we sunk, I'm telling you, hundreds of millions of dollars into advertising on Twitch, but we never worked with Twitch. We didn't pay Twitch a single dollar, but we spent hundreds of millions of dollars on Twitch.
Did he say hundreds of millions of dollars? Psh, I didn't know this. That was kind of like a slap in the face. This dude said hundreds of millions of dollars on advertising on Twitch without giving Twitch a penny. Okay. That's a lot of money.
You realize, hold on a second, the way you market with Twitch is by having people genuinely engage with your product. And that is what truly sells a product. And that's what makes live streaming so powerful. Live streaming is so powerful because you see people using something in real time, that you see someone, engaging with, a product in real.
All right. I know we were giving this guy a hard time in the beginning, but what he's saying now makes a lot of sense. Gambling site or no, what he's saying makes a lot of sense. And sadly, Twitch doesn't seem to get that, which is perplexing.
Real time, you see people answering questions in real time about a product. You see people actually, genuinely interested in products. And that is something which no other social media platform truly has the ability to touch on, right? So that's what makes live streaming unique. And advertisements in their natural, original form is that completely removes what makes live streaming so powerful. So combining that in there is to me a waste. I think it's a waste of opportunity. And I think there's
Twitch is going to make, I'm telling you, they're going to make people run to sites for a worse experience. They're going to make people run to different sites for a worse experience to escape ads. It's already happening. People like have been saying in various chats I've been to, I've been lurking a bunch of different discussions around this topic, and they're just like, I don't watch nearly as much Twitch as I used to. It's like, I just don't. And people like, why don't you get Turbo? They're like, I don't want to get Turbo. I'd rather spend that on like YouTube Premium or Netflix. They're just gonna leave. That's not like a death knell for. That's not like a writing on the wall for Twitch. But I'm just saying they are gonna drive people away from the site to make a little bit more revenue, and that's huge, man. When you got a site like Kick who sees that, people are gonna look at Kick and they're gonna not care. They're gonna say, "Oh, this site doesn't have ads. I'm gonna go watch over there." So if you multi-stream the Twitch and Kick, I'm telling you, I've been following the news front on like streaming tools that have been developed, and people are writing tools for Kick now. And as people write more tools, and a lot of these widgets and a lot of these things pop up for Kick, the viewing experience for Kick is going to improve, and people are not going to care. They don't care. They're not going to care what branding the video's on, just as long as they can see their favorite content creator without fumbling over 10, 20 ads per stream. People are just going to leave. And that's not good for Twitch. It's not going to kill the site, but if they're trying to grow, if they're trying to come out of the red, it's going to make that 10 times harder. I thought he was going to talk more on it, but it's just, I think there's so much emphasis on the subs, on subscription. People think, oh, like Twitch takes 50% so they can keep the site running. I think there's too much emphasis put on that. I really do. Because if your business model is around advertising, why in the world are you taking so much of subscriptions? I mean, I've had that question in my head for years and years and years. I'm like, if your whole business model is around advertising, why do you take so much subscriptions? You don't need to. Why do you force people to stay on the platform? Why is there this thing about exclusivity? Why is that a thing?
As long as people understand that there is a long-term sort of roadmap out there that we're very comfortable with and doubling down on, I really look forward to seeing what's achievable. I think all the people sort of doubting it, it's kind of interesting, and I think they're already going to start doubting it less every month that goes by. It's the kind of thing that was only going to last a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and it's going to go on and on. But I think I think we'll continue to gain people's trust. I think naturally people are skeptical because they saw Mixer, they saw other people trying to compete in the scene, Facebook Gaming, YouTube Live, all that kind of stuff. But no one's really managed to have a proper.
I mean, it's healthy skepticism. I think he said this earlier in the video too, is that you have to write, or actually it was repeating this part here. The past 5 years has shown us a lot. And having been on this site, JTV, Twitch, for a long time, we have seen so many people. Who remembers like Own TV and like Hitbox? I think it was Hitbox. A bunch of little sites, we call them little sites, that popped up that were going to dethrone Twitch. That were going to basically make you switch sites. Right? We have seen these sites come and go. Mixer, Facebook Gaming, YouTube Live, Rumble Live. There's a bunch more out there. They're popping up all over the place. Even Discord and Twitter and gosh, it's just like everybody's doing live now. Instagram. We see all these sites and everybody wants to compare them to Twitch. And I really think that's a mistake because Twitch only does live streaming. None of those other sites, not a single one. Well, the ones I named earlier were like Own.tv and Hitbox, and those are only live. None of those sites are live only. They're all like they do something, and live is something they do on the side, which is smart because nobody's proven live can be profitable yet. Kick is probably the biggest one. Well, Mixer was one too, but Kick is the biggest competitor since Mixer to come along. Which is why there's so many people talking about it. If you don't understand why everybody's talking about Kick, that's why. Because it is the biggest competitor since Mixer. Mixer had Microsoft backing them before Microsoft bought Beam, which was Mixer's predecessor. Nobody really talked about them as much as they did until after Microsoft bought them. They're like, oh my goodness, they've got the money of Microsoft now. Now we got to take them serious. And it turned out to be for null and void. They blew their money on Shroud. They blew their money on Ninja, a few other people. They blew their money on these guys, gave them huge 7-figure contracts, and then the site went down. And that failed for, a lot of different reasons that we can learn from. But Kick is a different animal than those. That's why everybody's like concerned, like what's going to happen. Not concerned. It's like they're interested in what's going to happen because Kick, that website is nothing more than their marketing budget. I would wager it's a fraction of their marketing budget. So when you say the sustainability for a site that is running off a marketing budget, they've got, I'm not going to say they're printing money, but their business model, arguably, in the 3 to 4 months, 5 months they've been around, is much smarter than Twitch. It's smarter than Twitch because it's actually paid for. So when they say we're going to give you 95.5, they've already budgeted for it. Twitch, they're clamoring at ad deals, trying to stay alive, stay afloat, so that daddy Amazon will say, all right, that's enough, Twitch. We're going to have to show the company. We're going to take IVS and we're going to fire everybody. Twitch has to worry about that. Kick, they're just like, oh, this is a marketing arm for whatever. It doesn't even have to be for stake. It doesn't even have to be for their gambling site. It doesn't have to be for, it's a marketing arm. And they can make money off of that marketing arm. Like you said, they're already up to, what, they said 100 people? It's going to be interesting to see what happens. It really is.
Taking people's subscriptions money and all that kind of stuff isn't what makes live streaming sustainable. That is the biggest misconception of the world.
Thank you for saying that. Taking people's subscription money is not the key to sustainability for a live stream site. Because somebody put down a t-shirt and send it to Twitch, put on a hat. Because it's like the perception around Twitch is that they're taking ad revenue, and the people defending Twitch is like, they need that 50% ad revenue to run the site. I'm like, no, they don't.
Misconception of us overpaying for server costs. Like, there is absolutely no issues right now with Kick's sustainability, and I can tell you that right now. As someone who, like, we're trying to make we're making 2-3 year deals right now with people, right? That should go to show that us as a company, we are not worried about the sustainability.
Yeah.
We're very, very confident.
We're making 2-3 years. You haven't signed anything yet. Let's not jump the gun.
The sustainability. So that argument is moot. It's not correct at all. It's, again, people just, I think, are looking at this from the wrong angle. And I think we're in such a unique situation that we understand how to keep it sustainable and how to make it so that people such as yourself, such as other creators, such as the viewers, aren't the ones who are kind of taking the hit.
But make no mistake, Kick can go away. I'm just saying they have a smarter business model, right? But they can't go away tomorrow. If something were to happen, or there's a lot of things that could make Kick go away tomorrow. So they're not immune to the similar problems that Twitch has. But they have a much smarter business model. Like you gotta admit, man, like Twitch is they're just hemorrhaging money. They're hemorrhaging money, and they're doing things that's going to drive people away to make more money. And that's a recipe for anti-growth. I'm not gonna say a recipe for failure, but it's going to stunt your growth. Maybe they're willing to take the hit on growth to line their pockets a little bit for, a few more years of the site running. Because as a business owner, your ultimate goal is to keep the lights on. So if they got to lose a few 200,000 users because they're frustrated with ads to keep the lights on, that might be something they're willing to do.
So it's true that you guys don't even, like, that other 5% isn't even for you guys. That's like for the Stripe processing.
Yeah, that's just the processing fees.
Twitch needs.
So they take nothing. Wow. Today I learned the 5% goes to the processing fees. They take none of the subs.
Needing to take the 50% and them saying they need it is a lie. It's just a flat out lie. Like, they don't need to do that to cover the sub. So then to also like double down and say, let's cut even more money across like some of their higher paying creators. I wonder, do you think, in your professional opinion, do you think at some point this next year, like Twitch is going to have to change their payout policy, right?
I don't know. I don't think they feel the pressure right now. I think they have,
but they should.
What Devin was saying, that they have the network effect, right? They do have that mass, that critical mass, and that they're in such a comfortable position. They have such strong relationships with organizations in esports and many other sort of
that's true.
Core partnerships which drive them immense levels of traffic.
But
and because of that, they don't have to worry too much.
But those relationships were grounded by people that are probably no longer there. So they've got long histories with a lot of esports companies and stuff. But the people who made that happen, are they even still there? Because the Twitch of old is not the Twitch of today. So many people are gone. And I'm not even talking about layoffs. I'm talking about people who've just moved on. This guy, he's business savvy. He is. I mean, you say what you want about his motivations, and, he owns a gambling company. So, there's that. But he's definitely he's got business smarts going on.
Facebook did a good job with it. Like I got friends that got the bags there and they mid-size, they got amazing communities, but then they just flooded celebrities.
Facebook had a really good thing that I hope continues, where they gave people basically a salary. You know, I think TSM did the same thing with their stream team. If streamers could get like a paycheck, let me tell you, boy, let me tell you.
To come stream and as I'm sure you know by now, you can't just make somebody a streamer just because you give them money. You can't just make that culture happen because like you give somebody with a large following the bag to stream for a little bit. So they just bled their resources over there from what I'm.
Dude, I would murder a small rodent for base pay. Like if I have guaranteed income from doing this, it will make my life like 20 billion times easier.
Hearing on Facebook. It's definitely going to be interesting how much like respect you guys give like the middle guys. Obviously you need the big guys too, but
I think yeah, the most interesting thing that we have coming, and you know, I think it's been talked about a little bit if you know, for the people who've been around Kick since the very beginning and a little bit on social media too, is, you know, we're releasing something called what we call the creator incentive program. And this one here will give everyone, every single creator a stable income. And it has been talked about a bit. And this is kind of what we're going to consider going to be the final blow. We like to think to really.
Is this live? Wait, is he watching my stream? Huh? Wait, that did just happen. That did not just happen. I'm in the Matrix right now.
This one here will give everyone, every single creator, a stable income. And it has been talked about a bit. And this is kind of what we're going to consider going to be the final blow. We like to think to really dominate the market is once we do release this and start offering everyone an hourly rate on.
He's watching my stream.
On what they're receiving to live stream. Those people, like you said, between 100 to 1,000 viewers, these guys are the ones that don't have massive.
This dude just said an hourly rate.
Contracts who don't have a sustainable amount of subscriptions coming through every single day. You know, you have to wake up and you know, hope that you get, you know, gifted subs or whatever. That's
horrible.
Too high. Like that's
horrible.
That's not
the viewers don't deserve it neither.
Difficult. Yeah. So this is the one thing that we're working on.
Watch it be minimum wage. That would be twice as much as what we're getting right now. Not exaggerating. Minimum wage will be an increase.
Changing and you know, obviously we've got these big contracts. You see all these, you know, large people, and you will see even, you know, more large people coming over the Kick. But the place we're really going to be investing in, and this is where we're going to be spending more money than ever, will be on those people from 100 to, you know, 1,000 viewers. And there's going to be hurdles to make that happen. It's going to be difficult to make it work the way we envision it to work, but we will make it happen. And this.
Yeah, that's a really lofty goal. I mean, when I was talking about it just 5 minutes ago, I'm like thinking pie in the sky. Like that would be the ideal situation. He just said that they're going to do that. So I got my skepticism hat on. I got my Leonardo DiCaprio face on. So it's like, that's a really big promise. And if they can deliver that, that's going to make a lot of people want to move. I'm not going to say it's going to make people move. It's going to make them want to move. So I'm telling you, that's why people took that Facebook deal. Because from what I was hearing from that deal, they were getting payments, like monthly payments under that deal. They were getting guaranteed money. It wasn't like a check at the beginning. It was like guaranteed money. It was like a contract. It was like an actual contract job. It's crazy.
This was the foundation on which Kick was built on. So what you guys see at the moment, we haven't even sort of released the whole concept. We're just getting the product to the point whereby it can compete, you know, with the other products out there. You know, obviously getting the app out, getting, you know, all these sort of bugs ironed out. But once we're at a place where we're like, okay, the product is as good as the competition, we're going to release this, and it's called the Creator Incentive Program, and this will change. This will change.
Creator Incentive Program. Ad Incentive Program.
The landscape. This will bring over all those 100 to 1,000 viewer streamers, even up to the 5,000 viewer streamers. They're all going to move to Kick. The only people who won't be on Kick are going to be the ones who are locked into massive contracts with the other platforms, and we'll take them too.
All right, he just went full marketing mode on me. He went full marketing mode. They're all going to move to Kick. Well, no.
That's something so it's something we're working on. I think I'm super excited about. Like when we release this, that'll be the final blow, I reckon. But it's
I don't reckon. It's a good idea, though. I'm going to tell you, though. If they can pull that off and make it work, because people are going to abuse it, of course. People can abuse stuff like that. Like, hey, if you stream for 10 hours, you get this, and then they'll basically put up a VOD, or they'll have some kind of bot running. People are going to automate it somehow. They're going to try to abuse it. So I think that's part of the challenge they're going to have with something like that, is that they're going to have to really, they're going to have to get some manpower to enforce it. And the bigger it gets, the harder it's going to be to enforce. So I think that's going to be the challenge.
Kind of in-depth discussions around kind of the platform around social media. So if there is anything that's going around circulating, like people getting all worried about, is Kick sustainable? Like, I just want to jump on and be able to talk with you guys from the sort of the business side.
This is a good conversation.
Train's doing an amazing job kind of talking about a lot of the
he does good.
And so are other people. But, when it comes to the core fundamentals behind the business and whatnot, then, I think it's about addressing those concerns as much as possible.
I learned a lot from this, and it, to me, the biggest thing that I learned was is that this guy gets more than I thought he did. Like when he talked about just multi-streaming in general and the benefits of it compared to what Twitch is saying about it, his thoughts on like just subscription revenue split. And when I say this guy, I'm talking about Eddie, the owner of Steak and Kick. Big E, the guy who interviewed him, he has some good takes too. But just the importance of that Twitch puts on the sub revenue. I don't even know if Twitch is doing it. I just think the defenders of Twitch are saying that the sub revenue split of 50-50 is required to run the site, and it's not. It's not. And my question has been for many years is that if your main business model is advertisement, then why are you taking half subs? Because that has nothing to do with subs. Absolutely nothing. And it's interesting. I learned also that Kick takes nothing from subs. Kick takes nothing. Like the 5% that they're taking out is for processing fees. That's just like coffee. So another site that we talk about here, Coffee, that is just like them. They don't take out anything. It's just processing fees. I didn't know that. I thought Kick took 5%. I thought they just put that in their pocket. No, they don't take anything. I learned that too. So it was quite a bit of knowledge in there. And we also we were told, and like I said, we're assuming he's telling the truth. We were told that their rates for Twitch and IVS, I'm not Twitch, their rates for IVS on Amazon are cost plus single digit percentages, not 8 to 9 times more than what news was going around. What was going around various sites saying that they were paying so much more and they were lining the pockets of Amazon/Twitch. He clarified that it was cost plus single digit percentage. And he said they were profitable in Q1. Which to me speaks to, he said they were profitable in Q1 because of a strategic partnership. And the only partnership I see on their site is with F1 Racing. They got the Kick logo on the car. So usually when you put your logo on a car, you're paying them, which it was a little bit confusing. I was like, there must be another partnership we don't know about, but that's the only one I can see. There was a lot of information there, a lot of good information. And I learned a lot about Eddie. I learned a lot about what they're thinking about with the site. It changed my opinion of Eddie. Because well, that's not saying much because I didn't really have an opinion. I hadn't heard anything he said so far. So that kind of gave me a favorable impression of him when he gave me those two snippets of good points. But there was a lot of sussy marketing stuff in there too. We pointed that out. A lot of sussy marketing. We're going to take all the Twitch viewers or Twitch streamers. We're going to get them all. Yeah, that's marketing. As someone who has worked in marketing before, I can kind of spot it pretty easily. Check the video out, guys. I'll link it in the show description. The truth about Kick being sustainable. Good discussion. Rather long, but I'm happy about it. Just like I'm happy about my patrons at patreon.com/one. Look at those fine, wonderful folks' names on my screen. They support me monthly at patreon.com/Bwana, which is very awesome of them. Thank you guys so much for being great supporters. And with that, I'm going to see y'all later. Catch you in the next video.